Hello and welcome to Innov'Nation. I'm your host, Lynn Plagmeijer, and thank you for joining. Israel may be a small country, but it's full of people with big appetites and big ideas. And that's why, for today's episode, we will focus on food tech. But first, our headlines. For years, Israel has been placed at the forefront of the global revolution in the food tech sector. Joining us today to discuss this is one of its leading investors, Nadav Berger. Israel ranks second in the world of investments in the field of protein substitutes. We had to check it out for ourselves and visited Israeli company Mila, where they are producing pea protein for all your baked goods. And a poem that can help you make a nuclear bomb. We'll break it down for you. From cultivated meat to precision fermentation, Israel's food tech boom is rewriting the future of food. And my next guest has been at the center of it from the start. So on What's Coming Next, I sit down with the industry's most influential investor, Nadav Berger. Thank you so much for being with us today, Nadav. Just to quote you, you have said somewhere that the food tech sector has relatively low margins when it comes to profits and investments. Doesn't it make the food tech sector risky to invest in?
Thank you for inviting me. It's always great to speak to a Dutch lady. We have two major hubs, offices, one in the Netherlands, Utrecht, and one in Tel Aviv. So great to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you.
Yes. So, we all eat, and we know that the food industry, if you look at the numbers of the food big brands, you see that it's a challenging industry. The margins are not huge, and we all want to have our food accessible and the right price and tasty, of course. So the question is, can we allow ourselves to bring new technologies and expensive technologies like fermentation and AI and so forth and do some changes in this food industry? So my short answer would be that actually we don't have a choice. So we have a limited resources planet. So we don't have more planets to use. We don't have more water. Climate change, geopolitics, it's becoming tougher and tougher and tougher. On the other hand, we have an exceeding growing population. By 2050, we need to feed 10 billion people. How can we overcome these challenges? Only by using new technologies.
So what kind of technologies in the food tech industry are you most excited about right now?
Well, just to be kosher here, I have to use the word AI, right? But AI not in the sense of AI, what is AI and what AI is doing, but actually, can we look for a real value creation of technologies and applications using AI? So connecting this to your quote at the beginning, I think that the food industry is still conservative, and there is a lot of room to improvement from supply chain. Imagine we get our food from the field to our shelf. That's a long journey and very complicated one. With AI, I think that we can do it more efficient, maybe feed more people or maybe make our food more accessible, but AI will change the industry completely.
So if you look back on the last 5 years, how much has this field evolved already?
Very fast. Actually, I would be happy to bring an example from the Netherlands. There is a Dutch company that is using AI to reduce waste. So what they do, and again, for our viewers, 40% of the food that we produce is wasted. So imagine, from the field to our refrigerator or restaurant, 40% is wasted.
Yeah, that's enormous.
So this company from the Netherlands, they used visual recognition and AI, and they put cameras looking at everything which is thrown away at the kitchens of a restaurant, hotel, banquet hall, even cruise ship. By the way, 1 kg per person per day is wasted, or food is wasted on cruise ship. Can you imagine how big it is?
That's enormous.
And by using this AI, they monitor what is being thrown away and recommend the chef or the operator how they should plan tomorrow, wasting less. They cut down waste by 80% just by using AI.
And when we look at Israel, what's the greatest achievement that has happened on this soil when we look at the tech food industry?
I think that Israel was the first one to really move into the alternative protein revolution. And again, as human beings living on this planet, we don't have a choice. We cannot consume the amount of proteins coming from animals that as we consume it today. And just recently, a month ago, Strauss launched, I think it's called no cow milk and no cow cream cheese, which is, it's made out of a real protein, milk protein with no cow. So the company that supplies the ingredients to Strauss actually succeeded to grow those proteins, which are essential for flavor, for nutritious, for everything, not by using the animal, but using fermentation. So now you have the same milk, like a regular milk, right? Same texture, same flavor, same nutrition values, but and now with taking out the animal out of this equation. This is a game changer. First ever to be launched in Israel on the shelf using this technology.
Well, being Dutch, I can't wait to try it. I've been raised on buckets of milk. So I'm very excited about everything that's going on in this region. So Nadav Berger, founding general partner of PeakBridge, a global expert food tech VC. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Pleasure being here. Thank you.
Now to a concrete example of a promising food tech startup. We just briefly touched upon protein replacers, and this company is doing just that, blending culinary arts with innovation and biotechnology. The team at Mila have whipped up a healthier alternative to the unhealthy ingredients in processed foods, while also bringing down the cost for food manufacturers. I24 News host and correspondent Emily Francis went to taste it for herself.
It's in here, it's in here. Beaver, for goodness sake. Look, Dad.
Back in the days of Leave It to Beaver and Ozzie and Harriet, a new way of food consumption liberated 1950s housewives. Processed foods became a revolutionary, new, cost-effective, and efficient way into American kitchens. Ingredients meant to preserve food and shelf life, all born out of necessity during World War II.
Then it was legal to use, chemical ingredients that we basically don't want to consume in order to prolong the shelf life of food, in order to enable America to feed its soldiers on Europe ground.
However, these days, studies have shown that over half of modern daily calorie consumption comes from processed foods, and medical evidence points to a direct link to obesity, diabetes, and other diseases.
Today, a lot of food manufacturers, when we are talking about industrial food, are using hydrocolloids or eggs to create texture in food, to have the long shelf life. You know that long list of ingredients that you are looking and saying, what exactly am I eating? This is exactly what we are trying to change. We are trying to bring new era that food manufacturers can create good, nutritional food with a very, very short and understandable ingredient list.
Co-founders Hadad Echoiz Razmovich and Dr. Tali Feldman Sivan, plus their diverse team at Mila, are definitely not biting off more than they can chew.
Clean up labels from 26 ingredients to 8 recognizable ones. This is a major change for a category that want to have much more clean and lean ingredient list.
We are tackling maybe one of the big pain points in the food industry, like this ambitious to clean up label, replace hydrocolloids with healthy proteins using biotechnology, which is my expertise.
This robust food tech company is cleaning up labels, blending years of experience in the industry with new healthy and cost-cutting solutions for U.S. food manufacturers and consumers.
Our IP uses a combination of biotechnology, food technology, and also production technology. And everything that goes behind me jumps from lab directly into the pan.
Big companies, brand companies that are selling cakes, they want to reduce the eggs because there is a huge shortage in eggs. The supply chain is unstable. The prices are ranking. So those companies are looking for a solution because they need to reduce the cost. They need to make sure that they have stable supply chain.
They've cracked the code with their proprietary protein-rich blends, replacing the need for eggs and the concerning processed ingredients used for texture, without compromising on flavor.
They will get a pea powder, and what they are doing, they can do two things. First of all, they can just reduce, they can cut eggs by 50% and adding our ingredients. So we are using very, very small amounts and a lot of water. That means that the cost reduction that they can make is huge.
Today we're going to make a Caesar salad dressing from using our powder. So I have here the powder and I have some water. I'm going to pour it on top and mix it with the blender. I'm going to put it on top of the
Food technologist Shelly Shahar has the tastiest job in the kitchen.
We have here a veggie kebab, a veggie meatball, and some veggie burgers. Are you ready to taste it?
I'm ready. I was born ready.
Wow. Even though my stomach was growling, I saved the best part for last.
All right, the moment of truth. Drum roll, my own version of a drum roll, a fork roll. Wow. You cannot tell the difference. Let's do a meatball. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. All right, this is the veggie patty. Mmm, yum.
Now for dessert, pound cake.
Delicious. Wow.
Well, the proof is in the pudding, and now I'm letting everything I learned simmer for a minute.
And this is absolutely amazing. Your operation is amazing. Your team is amazing. Thank you all. Thank you. Yay!
At Supermeat, the future of chicken isn't farmed. It's completely grown from cells. The company is pushing to make cultivated meat a mainstream reality and has secured funding to bring their chicken into the European supermarkets. Now, I'm joined by Sheer Friedman, co-founder and head of communications at Supermeat. So, Sheer, thank you so much for being with us today. You helped found the company. So, can you tell us a little bit about how Supermeat is going to change the way we eat?
Sure. So at Supermeat, we're cultivating chicken products, which means we're taking a few cells from a fertilized egg. It's a one-time thing. We never go back to the animal or the egg ever again. And we grow them in a fermenter. It's like for beer or for growing yeast. And we feed these cells, and we basically let them grow into the tissues, the target tissues that we wish to consume, which are muscle and fat. And we don't ever have to go back to the animal again. This way, we can cut down on resources, we can cut down on costs, and basically remove the animals from the equation, which are not very efficient meat-making machines.
So is there a reason you chose to cultivate chicken meat?
Sure. So chicken is the largest meat sector in the world. We produce globally about 120 million tons of chicken every year, which is about double that of the amount of beef. So when you have such a large industry, if you introduce even the smallest of improvements to that industry, the effect is bound to be massive.
So when we look at we'll get to the future in a bit. I wonder right now, how far along are you? Because it sounds like it's going to be groundbreaking, but I understand it's not in the supermarkets yet.
No, it's not in the supermarkets yet. We're in very advanced stages of licensing the technology, which is very mature at this point, to different players around the world. And we've recently reached a point where we can match the cost of conventional chicken at scale. Wow.
So what do you think of the Israeli landscape when we think about the food tech sector? Like, it's ideal for companies like yours, or you come across a lot of regulations, difficulties?
I think the Israeli landscape is very ideal. We're the startup nation, and many innovations came from this country. And we're a country that's always thinking forward in terms of how we can innovate and better everything. So the best people for this job are right here.
Okay. And do you think you will cultivate meat from other animals in the future?
Potentially, yes. Right now we're focusing on chicken, but this technology is a platform for all other species.
So we are in Israel, of course. Is this meat considered to be kosher?
Yes. So we at Supermeat we are in contact with the Orthodox Union, and they found our meat to meet all the criteria for kosher mehadrin. There are many different rabbis with many different opinions about whether this should be considered parve or meat, but it will most definitely be kosher.
That's amazing. Shir Friedman, co-founder and head of communications at Supermeat. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
We've just discussed all these amazing developments, but in every tech sector, there's challenges. And when it comes to food tech, there are plenty. Our host and correspondent, Nicole Tzedek, joins me now. Nicole, can you break it down for us? What are we facing?
Well, let's start with the good news, Lynn. The good news is that globally, food tech is worth hundreds of billions of dollars. And that money, it's only expected to go up. In fact, by the year 2030, globally, food tech is expected to reach some $400 billion. And that's good news for Israel as well. As you've just been discussing, Israel is home to a wide variety of this food tech right here at home. And investors, they notice. In fact, investments in Israeli food tech, it's ranked number 2 around the world, just under the United States. However, what we've seen, Lynn, specifically since October 7th, is some of this investor confidence being shaken up, mainly by security instability and economic uncertainty. And truly, when it comes to investing in food tech, this also is more of a long-run game versus the general high-tech investments where some of these investors get a very quick return on their investments. That's not the case with food tech because it takes years to develop these products, years to test them and get the safety regulations, and then more years until they're actually on the line for you and me to buy in these different stores. And so this is something that it's going to take a long process then when it comes to investors regaining their confidence. And so what we're seeing from some of the industry leaders, they're actually calling on the government to step in, offer some more grants, tax incentives, regulatory support so that the booming Israeli tech industry can stay booming. Because as it stands right now, Lynn, manufacturing in Israel, it is costly. Regulation is slow. So actually moving from the innovative lab technology until when it's actually on the shelves, as I mentioned, this can take years. And so when it actually comes to these investors giving the money so that the technology can continue to boom here in Israel, some of these industry leaders, they want the government to step in. The good news, as I said, there's money when it comes down to it, and we certainly have the minds here in Israel. But to actually make sure that some of these small startups can get to the next stage, they say they're going to need that funding.
Nicole Tzedek there. Thank you so much, Nicole, for breaking that down. We are now taking a leap from food tech into space. Forget about drugs being produced on Earth. The American company Varda is now setting out to supply the world from orbit. Natasha Kurchik has the story.
I want you to picture this, a night sky full of shooting stars, but they are not meteors. They're tiny spacecraft, each carrying medications that have been made in orbit. I know this sounds like sci-fi, but that is exactly what the company Varda Space Industries is now trying to make routine. Their idea is simple. Some medicines actually work better when they are made in space. Today on Earth, gravity and other forces mess with how crystals, which are the building blocks of drugs, actually form. And in microgravity, all of that interference disappears, which means pure, more stable crystals, which could mean longer shelf lives and better medicine. So essentially, Varda isn't inventing new drugs. What they're doing is taking existing medications and improving them. And they've already done this successfully. Back in February of 2024, Varda became only the 3rd company in history to bring something back from orbit, crystals of an HIV medication. Now, the capsule that they use, which is called W1, is relatively small for a rocket. It's about the size of a big kitchen trash can, but it can survive a fiery re-entry to Earth at over 30,000 kilometers per hour, and it lands softly with a parachute. Now, the capsule itself is not the magic. It's really the process. Varda's CEO calls it just a magic oven where you can make formulations that otherwise wouldn't be possible on Earth. And Varda's business model is different too. Today, most space companies launch once and then they're done, but Varda's drugs require repeated manufacturing runs. More runs essentially means more launches, and more launches means lower costs. And lower costs means more drugs become viable. So Varda CEO Brewy calls this the 7 domino theory. It's a feedback loop that could eventually make space launches routine and actually affordable. But the road has not been smooth in making this happen. Varda's first capsule got stuck in orbit for 6 months because the landing approvals weren't in place. But when it finally returned, it was historic, the first commercial spacecraft to land on a U.S. military test range under the FAA's new rules. Now, Varda has multiple landing sites and partnerships with SpaceX and others. They're aiming for bigger and more complex drugs. And as a side benefit, their capsules re-entering at Mach 25 actually let defense agencies test materials in real hypersonic conditions. That's something that you just can't do on Earth today. So this is still a gamble. No space-made drugs are on shelves yet. But if Varda's plan works, sending medicine into orbit could become as routine as shipping anything else. And the night sky might soon light up with a whole new kind of shooting star.
Now, roses are red, tech can do wrong. One clever poem can get AI to make you a nuclear bomb. Correspondent Joe Brown. Why are you laughing? This is a great poem.
That's a super poem. And perhaps maybe it could have helped you get around these sensors. Yes, there's been a new study that came out to show that if you do put some of these prompts to elicit a bad response in with the help of poetry, then it can actually give you the answer. I don't know about you, but personally, I love trying to see the limits of ChatGPT to see if it will let me do this or whether it will say something a little bit more risque. Most of the time, though, they have sensors put in place to prevent that from happening and prevent lawsuits. But what this study has shown is that if you're able to word it in a special way, it can evade these sensors and you can get it to give you the, as you say, instructions to create a nuclear bomb, napalm, to give out explicit content. I personally have tried it myself using poetry. I did not get any results, unfortunately. Apparently, it has a 62% accuracy rate. For me, I got a 0% accuracy rate. Maybe they fixed it since then, but it's possible that the actual people who made it, they didn't want to say how they came to this point.
Okay.
Like what they used, which poems they used. So I was kind of free guessing because they know that if they do share this, then it can end up in the wrong hands. And our biggest fears about AI could become reality.
Wow, so you're a very bad poet, apparently.
Evidently so, not as good as yours.
Yeah, but this was a stellar poem. I agree.
I agree.
We're also having Charlie Kirk. He's being honored by an AI song, but it's not charting because of its musical qualities.
I mean, music is subjective. I personally wouldn't say so, but I know that everyone's algorithm on TikTok or Instagram Reels, it's all unique. But I know a lot of people who've been getting this very specific and very strange song being put on their For You page. Let's take a listen to it.
We are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame, we'll fight for the gospel, we'll honor his name. We are Charlie Kirk, his courage our own, together unbroken, we'll make heaven known.
Yeah, so, I agree. I agree with that.
Really.
Yes.
And JD Vance is singing it.
Evidently so. For those who couldn't guess, both the song and, in fact, the JD Vance performance were created with AI. But
Shock.
I know, right? What I love about this, though, is that it's at the intersection of two groups who are heavily invested in their use of AI. One of them is the Donald Trump MAGA base, and the other is people who want to become musicians but lack any musical talent. So let's talk about the first group for a start. This was by an artist known as Spalexmo. We do not know their identity, but what we do know is that they have put out hundreds of songs over the last year with the help of AI. Most of these have a right-wing or a Christian theme to it, but this is now charting in the Spotify charts because of the fact that people are seeing that this is what AI music is, they see that it's not particularly inspiring. Personally, for me, I think this sounds a little bit like Israel's Eurovision song this year, but that's by the by.
Oh, you're a big Eurovision song fan. So,
exactly, yeah. So I don't know, make of that what you will. But will it harm anyone who's actually making serious music? As of yet, no, because AI is still at its infancy, and a lot of its iterations of proper music, if you can call it that, is a little bit less sophisticated, a little bit more generic. But also in terms of the MAGA side of this, we've seen Donald Trump put out these AI videos of him playing football with Cristiano Ronaldo. We saw the Gaza video. This is what the MAGA crowd love to do. They tried to immortalize Charlie Kirk after his death with these images, with these songs about this, and it's been almost turned in a way against it. And now it's been taken by people who are against Charlie Kirk to, in a way, mock him.
Crazy. Wow,
Crazy
the world
world.
of viral tech. Thank you so much, correspondent Joe Brown. And that's all we have time for today. I'm your host, Lynn Plagmeijer. Next week, we will talk all about the groundbreaking technologies saving lives. Same time, same place. For now, thank you for watching and have a great day wherever you are from Tel Aviv.